Welcome back to the Organic Marketing Simplified podcast. Today, we're talking about how to handle nasty reviews on your podcast and how to get them removed. I just went through this myself, so I am super excited to share my discoveries with you. Before we start, I just want to remind you that on February 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern, you and I are getting together. Yes, we are. And I'm giving you free coaching. So I'll leave the information linked down below for you to go ahead and sign up. But pretty much you and I together for an hour, and you're going to ask me questions and I'm going to answer them live on the call. And I'm super excited to share that with you. I really want to show up more and be more present and really help you in 2021. So I'm super excited. So again, February 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern, all the information will be linked for you down below. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the review so I can read it to you. So what happened was back in January 8th, somebody left me a nasty review. Now they gave me 3 stars, but this is honestly such a passive aggressive review, mostly aggressive, not so much passive. So let me read it to you. If you like a simplified explanation of marketing and entrepreneurship spoken to you as if you are her drunk roommate, then this short spanned episodes may be your match. I hear tremendous repetition of promising the juicy bits, and then she doesn't share those juicy bits until halfway through. It's rather vague and like ironic that one of her episodes is the dark side of coaching, where she's plugging her coaching most of her episodes. Maybe I'm too much of a boomer to like appreciate it. Okay. So, when I first read this review, you have to give it to this person, right? 10 hands, one home. This person got a sense of humor, right? It's a dark sense of humor, but they got a sense of humor. And I was just laughing, but also what just happened, I'm not sure. And I just kind of sat in the discomfort of like, nap. Like, this is the first time in 2.5 years that I get a review like this. I was taken aback a little bit. I sat in that discomfort and I wonder, does this person have something of value, even though this review is not helpful at all? Does this person have something of value that I can learn from? I just got grounded in the person that I am. And I have built a brand on being hey girl, hey casual. That is my thing. Hey girl, hey. That is who I am. That is my brand. I am super laid back. I honestly love it. I am not this polished brand and I'm okay with that. I don't want to seem like I have it all together, that I am perfect. I'm very knowledgeable in marketing, but I'm also laid back and chill. And if there's anything that I want the person listening to my podcast is that I want them to know that they don't have to be perfect. I want them to know that they don't have to have the perfect setup to get started and make money. I have a 6-figure business being hey girl, hey casual and saying like and having unedited episodes and life is good. So we're good here. Like I said, got grounded in myself and I love the brand that I have built. So this person can think whatever they want to think about me, but I am grounded in who I am in the brand that I have. And that's it. So then the next thing I did was pray. Honestly, I prayed. I asked Jesus to like not let this take over me and consume my thoughts. And I didn't want to get caught up in thinking about this negative review and what to do and just keep thinking about it and spiraling. So I just prayed and Jesus, in good fashion, did not disappoint because this honestly did not take over me, did not consume my thoughts. But the next morning when I woke up, I was fine. I didn't think about it. Everything was fine. So then the next thing that I did was that I looked back at the feedback that I had gotten in the past, right? So from people who actually listen to my podcasts, who email me regularly, and I thought about them and how much they have told me that my episodes have impacted them in one way or another. I had one lady reach out to me and tell me how that same day that I got this negative review, earlier in the day, a lady had emailed me and told me how she was so proud of me and how she had been praying for me for like 2 years on and off and how she thinks of me as her daughter. And, obviously that just warmed up my heart. I was so happy to hear that. And that email, I honestly believe it was God sent because later that day in the evening, I saw the negative review from Ted Hands Went Home. So obviously, I'm grateful to God that He put those pieces in my life and good to go. But yeah, it is what it is. So I think the lesson here is that you can obviously get caught up in the negative review or the negative comment, but you have to get grounded in who you are and lean on somebody. And for me, I leaned on Jesus and to really know, like, is there any truth to this? Like, should I be more polished and not be so casual? Because the title of this review was Girl Too Casual. And I'm like, no, I am casual. That is my brand. I have a casual brand. So then The next thing that I did is that I asked for feedback. So I asked my right hand in business, her name is Mariela, and I said, "Hey, girl, listen, are my episodes being like, are they too bloody blah? Are they not delivering on the promise?" And she said no. And I explained to her why I was asking. And that was that. Maybe I was being too vague. So it's good, I think, for you to ask somebody that you respect, am I in fact being too vague? And she would have told me if I was in fact being too vague. And she said I wasn't. So then I think a day passed and I received a Facebook message from somebody telling me that they had purchased a masterclass for me a while back and they had just listened to the masterclass the day before and they're just reaching out to let me know how much they loved the masterclass. It was super impactful and like they just cheered me on. And again, it was just Jesus like saying, "Hey girl, it's okay. You can be casual. You got this. Like don't let this get to you." And I just opened up my heart to all of the love that I was receiving, right? And it wasn't, I hadn't really told anybody about the negative review except for my assistant, my right hand girl. And aside from that, I didn't really speak to anybody about it. I did eventually send an email to my list because of the way that I was able to handle everything. Because obviously, had this happened 3 months prior, 6 months prior, I would have let that review consume my life and consume my thoughts. And I'm just so glad that because of the steps that I took, I didn't let it get to me. So super thankful. So I did share that with my list. I was super okay with the review. Whatever. This person, anonymous person, I'm never going to find out who they are. That's fine. I don't have to. I'm not here to convince them of anything. But I did come to find out that I could get that review removed. So it was a very, very simple process. So I will leave the link to the place on Apple where you ask them to remove the review. Now, if somebody has something constructive to say and you just don't like where they're saying it, then they're probably not going to remove it. There's a difference between constructive criticism and just flat out being snarky like this person was. So honestly, the review didn't really bother me, but I own a podcast management agency. Let's figure this out how this works. So then I got on, very high level tutorial here. You go to iTunes Connect and then you choose podcasts. And likewise, you can just go straight to Podcast Connect on Apple. And on there, you're going to ask for support. And then you just put in what you want. There's like a drop down menu and you can choose reviews. And then you put in your message and put in why you believe that the review should be removed. I attached a screenshot of the review and I submitted to them. And then the next day, they replied saying that the review does qualify to be removed and the review is going to be removed within 24 hours. And that was it. It was super easy. And honestly, if Apple got back to me and they told me we cannot remove this review, we don't think it's like breaking any rules or guidelines, I would have been okay. But I wanted to try it out and it was a super easy process. And I do believe a lot of people don't know that you can get your reviews removed, which is why I'm making this episode on it. So there you have it. There is something to be learned when we get these reviews, whether the lesson is how are you going to handle it? Honestly, you just have to remember that you have something to offer the world and don't let these little stumbles get to you because people will totally come after you and try to put you down. That is an enemy at work. And don't let that get to you. Just keep going forward. And if somebody does have something constructive to say, then that is different. But to flat out just say things like this person said in this review, it's not helpful. So what is the point of taking the time to leave such a nasty review? Like just go on about your day. There's nothing here. He could have said, "Hey, I believe she says and like and too much." Whatever, that is a fact and that's fine. But then to go ahead and say just this nastiness of a review, there is no point. So I really hope that this episode was helpful to you. And if you got a bad review, just listen. It's not about you. It's never about you. If you got a negative review or even a negative comment, it's about that person. And maybe that person is having a bad day, or maybe that person is one of those people that it's just negative. And somebody like me, I am a little bit more quirky and laid back. Maybe my personality just bothers this person. So it might not even be the podcast itself, it might be my personality. Who knows? Maybe I remind this person of a partner, like somebody who really treated them badly. I don't know. Not my problem. But what I'm trying to make is that negative comments and reviews are not about you. They're about the other person. And pray. Ask Jesus to come into your life and say, "Hey, Jesus, help me because I don't want this to go to my life." And trust me, he will not disappoint you, he will come through. And that is my advice for you. So I really hope that you found this information helpful. And I will leave the link for you if you had got a negative review and you want to ask Apple to remove it. I'll leave the link for you in the show notes. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.